Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some CSEC oral reading practice because this is another component of your CSEC oral exam for French. Okay? Also, I would like you guys to know that practice is your greatest weapon, right? The more you practice, the more proficient you will become. So let's not waste any time. Let's get straight into it. First, we got to big up free Power.7 and also Pixabay. Free Power.7 for this PowerPoint template and bigging up Pixabay for the lovely images you're going to see in this PowerPoint presentation. You understand me? Let me start. Okay, so first we're going to start with some exam preparation tips. Okay, we're going to start with some exam preparation tips. Okay, so first, practice your pronunciation. Practice pronouncing difficult words or sounds specific to the language. Use online resources such as language learning apps to hear native pronunciation. Number two, read aloud daily. Practice reading aloud every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. So guys, you don't have to do it for hours, just for like a few minutes every day to practice, because consistency will improve your confidence and fluency. Okay? Number three, practice reading different texts. Expose yourself to various types of text, such as dialogues, narratives, and descriptive passages to be prepared for any reading material. I hope that is clear so far. Okay, number four, record yourself. Record your reading practice and listen to it. This helps you to identify areas where you may need improvement. So one of the ways to identify where you're making mistakes, you need to listen to yourself, okay? And the easiest way for you to do that is to record yourself while you're reading a passage and then listen to the recording to see how well you did with the pronunciation when you're reading a passage, okay? Now, number five, practice with a native speaker. If possible, practice reading with a native speaker who can correct your pronunciation and provide feedback. Okay? In cases where this is always not possible, especially for most people preparing for CSEC, you can use your French teacher as your resource. Okay? So you can even record yourself and send it to your French teacher, or have your French teacher listen to your recording of your reading, and your teacher can provide you with feedback on how to improve your pronunciation. Okay? So this is all of the tips for preparing so these are tips when you are preparing for the exam, okay? So now we are going to look at tips for the day of the exam. So these are a different set of tips, right, that are going to help guide you on what you should do on the day of the exam. So the other tips we looked at were when you are preparing for the exam. And now these tips that I'm about to give you are specifically for the day of the exam, okay? So here are some of the tips, okay? So tip number one, slow down. Don't rush through the text. Speak slowly and clearly to ensure that each word is properly pronounced. Okay? So, this is something I want you to do because many students make the mistake of trying to read the passage that they're given as quickly as possible. You don't want to do that because when you do that, you're prone to make more mistakes easily. And sometimes because you're trying to do it so fast, you're not able to pick up on when you mispronounce a word. So try to read as slow as you possibly can. All right? Just try to avoid sounding robotic, but try to read as slowly as you possibly can. Do not read it like, for example, ah, hier soir, je suis allé au supermarché avec ma femme. You know, you don't want to do that. Okay? Reading like that can cause you to make a lot of unnecessary mistakes, and especially mistakes that you might not pick up on, that you might not notice. And remember, you're being marked on your pronunciation, right? That's one component of it, okay? Number two, implement strategic pauses. To maintain a natural sounding rhythm and avoid rushing, try making a 2 to 3 second pause after every 3 to 5 words. This will give you time to focus on the words that you're seeing, ensure clear pronunciation, and maintain fluency. So you want to do this. This is a strategy I always give my students. You want to make pauses because when you make pauses during your reading, it gives you time to look at the words more clearly and focus on how the words are going to be pronounced. And this helps you maintain a level of fluency, right? Without it sounded without it sounding like you butchered your reading, if you understand what I mean. So it wouldn't sound so chopped up, right? This way you sound more fluent and you sound like you're in control. Okay? All right. So, number three, use punctuation as a guide. So, pay attention to punctuation marks. They guide your pauses, helping with the natural flow of speech. Okay? So, just remember to use punctuation as a guide. This is going to help you make your pauses when you see things like commas and full stops, etc. Okay? So that way you're going to sound way more natural. Okay? Okay, continuing on. Focus on your intonation. Pay attention to the natural rise and fall of sentences. Okay, so obviously, when the rise and fall of sentences has to do with if what you're reading contains full stops and question marks. You know, for a question, you're typically going to raise your voice at the end to indicate that what you're reading is a question. Okay? So this is generally an indication that, for example, if in the reading passage there's a question, and by you raising your voice at the end, all right, like, tu vas bien? This is an indication that a question has been used in the reading. And obviously, you're going to let your voice fall at the end of a sentence if it ends with a full stop, sorry. All right? So if it ends with a full stop, your voice is going to drop. Like, for example, hier soir, je suis allé au supermarché. My voice dropped at the end, and you know that the sentence has ended there. I hope that is clear. Okay. And my last tip here is stay relaxed, guys. If you make a mistake, don't panic. Correct yourself calmly and continue reading without drawing attention to the error. Okay? Everyone makes mistakes when reading. And this is one of the reasons I want you to learn to read your text slowly. It's easier for you to notice when you make a mistake, and it's easy for you to correct that mistake without it being too noticeable, right? Without it being too noticeable. And like that, you're going to feel less anxious, less nervous, etc. So practice reading slowly and please remain calm, okay? Stay relaxed so that when you do make mistakes, you can correct them where you can identify the mistakes that you make. Okay? I hope that is clear. Let us continue. Now for our reading practice. Now for today's reading practice. Okay, so guys, this is how it's going to work. So for the reading practice, I am going to start the reading and then it's going to be your turn to do the reading, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the passage in front of me, which you can also see. I'm also going to make those strategic pauses, etc., that we would have mentioned. You're going to realize, or you're going to notice, that I'm not going to be reading fast at all, right? So remember, one of the things that I want you to avoid is reading too quickly, okay? I don't want you, this is what I don't want, okay? I don't want you to be reading the passage and be like, ma femme et moi, nous avons pris la décision de partir en vacances en France pour 3 semaines. Don't do that, please. Please don't do that, okay? So, you're going to listen to how I'm going to read, and then it's going to be your turn to read, okay? Okay, let's begin. Ma femme et moi, nous avons pris la décision de partir en vacances en France pour 3 semaines. Nous voulons prendre cette occasion de pratiquer notre français. Nous allons rester dans un hôtel qui s'appelle Station de l'Éternité. Dans cet hôtel, chaque chambre dispose de la climatisation, de la télévision et de la connexion Wi-Fi. Okay, so guys, try to read your passage slowly and make your strategic pauses similar to the way I just did. So now it's your turn to read. In 1, 2, 3, c'est parti. Okay. Okay, guys. Now you see that wasn't too difficult. All you have to do is continue to practice your reading and you're going to get better with time, okay? So, as usual, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at thateasylanguage@gmail.com. I don't know if you want to learn French or Spanish with us. That easy. OK. Merci pour votre attention et à plus.
No way.